They will be doing the show. You know, talk, and come in after. Cause they can come in.
He only paid the number he sees.
So it's over in there and I got a slip. Now I'm thinking it's instead of the default into reading, yes, I start.
So how they made up for you for just for that?
Yeah.
Okay, when we get to the
Yes, I know.
It's a good year for me to miss. All the snow, and then it kinda, I don't know.
Was it? I don't know. Could have been. We'll just win it.
Let me go back and look at that. I remember that. I expect it's gonna be fine. Should be better than what it was, something got. If it is, but let me write it down. Hopefully you get a chance of it. I would. It's just a matter, well, I know the north side is such.
Yeah, I just, it was, I gotta go up there, leave all the signs there.
Oh, yeah, and then, yeah, there you go. You check it and then.
We'll call the meeting to order. Approval of the April 19th minutes would be in order. Carried out it. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public comments. George?
I'd like to report that the ATV trails are all ready to go. Did everything with the landscape rake, and got a lot of trash off of it after the backhoe went through. And the only thing left is to go and fix some signs that got damaged, and I'll be doing that shortly, so. It was quite an ordeal, more than people could do, getting off the rooter and throwing it off, so.
What'd you do with all the trash? Just stuff it in the woods along the trails?
He gathers it up and then you just lift it and get ahead of it and drop it down and back up and shove it in the ditch. It'll rot. You didn't have much choice of where to put it,
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, talking about these resolutions a little bit later. I don't see it on here because we're gonna talk again about, having everything signed that will be closed by the 1st of July. I'm assuming that's still going forward. And then, on the modification of the regulations, is there a date of implication on that or implement? Or is it?
For the resolution, with the, public, committee, public lands committee?
No, I'm not talking about the public committee.
Are you talking about the ordinance?
Right now, I'm talking about, changing the vehicle ordinance, to all of these closed trails and everything else. What is, do we have a date on that, or is it once the county board votes that this is what we're gonna do, the next day if someone's where they don't belong or getting a ticket? So is there a implementation date?
I see.
Not written in the ordinance, I don't think there was, Bob.
That's the question that I've got on that.
We could put like a date on it, such and such, maybe a month or something, that way it gives time for everybody to be aware of it.
Yeah.
And does it go into effect on September 1st?
Well, so I think how written, it would technically, once voted on by full county board, it immediately take effect, but
At full board though, you can adjust that.
Putting a future date on might be better that way, to give a month or something, that way everybody's got time to see that.
Everybody gets the word that way. And then again, if July 1 is the magic date, that everything is all signed, anyone that's out there knows this is a closed trail, don't go on it. Where otherwise, it's been open in the past, they go down it, now they get a ticket, because now it's closed, well, who told me that? So one goes with the other, the signage and the,
Yeah.
Anybody else? Parks and Rec report.
Alright, lots of cleanup we've been doing, since we last met, with that winter snowstorm that we had. I'd say we're probably 90% done with that cleanup effort. However, I did notice today that now that the aspens are leafing out, that we're getting a little more sag. So there's a few more trees that we're gonna cut down that we were otherwise gonna leave. And I think they're, with these larger RPs, they're gonna be, in the way, so.
Will some of them in growth pull themselves back, or do you think?
That was the idea, that some of them would do that, but with the additional weight of the leaves, there's, like I said, there's more of them now that are drooping down that I think we'll have to take a few of them out. So, but again, we've got probably 90% of that work done. And then our interns start next week, which will be a great benefit for doing that sort of work. And we started mowing this week, so next week will be the big week ahead of Memorial Weekend, that we want to get everything tip-top shape, so we always
You got your
start the
full crew?
interns at that time.
You got your full crew then of interns?
We're gonna have 2 to start next week, and then the third one starts in like 2 weeks, I believe, because of school. And the two that are starting are returns too, so they should be able to hit the ground running. So, just finished putting in our docks. We actually did a couple today. We did one at Anacoin Fireside because we were fighting high water levels this year, so a little bit of a delay getting some of those in. And we worked with the highway department to do that, and they did a really good job helping out. So that was very good. The one that we have yet to put in is our Perch Lake dock, and that's because we've had beaver issues there. They have that outlet dammed up, so I believe they've been trapped, and then the APHIS was in there today, and they were gonna blast that dam out. So that water level should be down probably by the end of the week, or next week, we'll be able to get that dock in. Josie Creek well, Ron Young completed plumbing inside the well house, or clubhouse in this case. He did that work last week, so that's done. Had the expansion tank in there, eliminated some of the plumbing that we thought didn't need to be there that was potentially causing problems. And then I've contacted Steve from Kramer Well Drilling. He was gonna possibly be out this week to finish that, the trenching over to the well house. Otherwise, it should happen next week. And then Public Health from upstairs has been out, testing the water, because we did turn on water here a couple weeks ago. So I ran into Vinny today out there. So everything looks good there. We did run into a potential snag or problem at Josie Creek with the holding tank. Last year we pumped out 9,000 gallons. I checked it about this time. He took out 3,000 gallon loads. Figured there was another load in there, so he estimated it to be a 12,000 gallon tank. Popped the lid on it the other day, it's full again. So we probably have a leak there.
Taking out groundwater through the manhole?
I might be down, I don't know how this thing is built, if there's a concrete riser with a gasket or something underneath that's maybe have failed, I don't know. So we're probably gonna have to get Thompson's or someone, maybe I'll look into who had installed it, if I can find that information. That was before my time. And then talk to them and see if we can't dig at least that riser up and see if there's any issues there.
I know we've done a massive amount of them this spring with the high groundwater and everything. There was an awful lot of problems.
Okay.
In Thompson's that we did a bunch of resealing on.
So yeah, possibly it needs to be resealed. We got Northwestern coming out, did you say tomorrow, Heidi? To take out one load out of there. And then he's gonna look at it and see what he thinks. I don't know if he has any ideas, otherwise I'll probably contact Thompson's or, like I said, look into who had done it and see where we can go from there. So hopefully we can just repair a leak and not have to put in a whole new tank. 12,000 gallon tank, it should be 10 years, I think, before we have to pump that. Anyway. Let's see, we had posted a notice for our campground host out at Josie Creek. We have no takers yet. So we're gonna probably repost that another time, possibly two. And then also consider maybe opening that site up for camping until we do get a host. Hopefully we get some interest here, before the 4th. That's our hope. Not sure if we will. I know we had someone call last year who was interested in doing it, but we had a host at that time, but I didn't get his name, but I wish it would now. Weirgore ATV trail, our DNR permit, is currently under review for the 100-foot bridge. So we have a notice of pending application, and we do post that notice in the paper. And so there's 30 days that we wait for public comment on that, and that's where we're at right now with that. So that's on schedule. Let's see. Snowmobile storm damage. There was a grant amendment here that came in last week. I know the Sheldon Club had some difficulties getting some of their information into the SNAR system, so it did not go through. So they were short $8,000, plus. So we were able to contact the state and get an amendment to that original grant, which was $158,000 and change because of all that damage, all the cleanup work. So we were able to get that money back for them. So, well, we're in the process of that. We did get the award letter. Probably need a little bit more information from the club about the invoices that they had provided and where they're at and some of the details with that, but, so that was a good thing. And they'll be happy to know that we got that back, so. Alright, other than that, lots of bugs out there right now. There's lots of ticks.
Pretty ones too.
Any questions? If not, timber sale report.
Dane's in the office, I'm waiting for a bunch of bits, so you get the older, fatter version of him to give you the timber sale report. That would be me. Been marking as much as we can, including me. I think I got out probably close to 10 days marking, which is awesome. Kind of a late start to that. We don't have as much done as I would wish, but get as much as we can here. Future Wood is starting sale on Excelsior Road tomorrow. The problem, Phil? What was that? Everything's good?
Yeah.
Okay, Future Wood starting tomorrow on Excelsior Road. Jeff Van Dorn will be moving in there. Start peeling some popples, so we get some wood moving in. Northwest Hardwoods has started hauling a little bit of wood off Moose Ear Road. Sounds like there's one soft spot on that road that they're being careful with and keeping an eye on. So, also, Weirgore Road was tore up pretty bad by a bunch of trucks for timber sale on there. Contractor in question is well aware of his responsibility to make sure that gets fixed up afterwards. So as of now, we have it we graded it, tried to grade it, closed it, and it's sitting there, hopefully drying up, so we can assess it a little better, see what we gotta do there, get that repaired. That's it for Timbersville report. Moving right into administrator.
Unless anybody has any questions, go ahead.
First I'll mention Emma is here for the wildlife report. Happy to have her to clue you guys in on what's going on there. Alex Stauber started since our last meeting. He's our new forest technician. He's doing very well. He's been with Mike almost every day. I worked with him a couple days as well. He's a good worker. He fits in well, so things are going really well there. There was, Dane, Roy, and myself went to BMP training refresher course yesterday. That was in Jim Falls at the ranger station. That was pretty good. I'm glad we went. Some stuff to tidy up on our timber sale, stuff like that. Nothing earth shattering, but good discussion there. Went to a NORTAC meeting on April 27th, just a bunch of updates on grant stuff with the ATV and some of the trails, nothing too crazy there either. Good discussions as well. I want to mention all the parks cleanup we've done. I was working with Mike, I think, probably 4 days, and Alex and Dane as well for a day or two. Cleaning up storm damage. Probably costed 150 to 200 acres of marking time, I guess, on that. So that's unfortunate, but we gotta deal with what we have, so. Contracted, or got some more work done on the gas tax, county forest roads. George Schiffman actually, did some raking for us, which worked out really well. Cost effective, turned out good, so thanks for that. Thanks for being available. Some washouts on Fort Hill, hasn't been fixed yet, it's in the works, so Betty Lake Road had a pretty good washout. Neither of those were impassable. The Betty Lake Road has been repaired. The Weirgo Road stuff I touched on. The Buter man, Connor Copus, strapping beaver, going out of style, as Mike mentioned. The surveying is done on the new Hatch property, so we'll get that submitted to Knowles Nelson Stewardship Grant stuff and get what's remaining in that grant reimbursed to the county, and then after that, we can enter into county forest law, which is fairly simple at this point. That was done by Morgan Parmley. I wanted to mention a little question that came up about boat landings being day use only or not, or whatever. So we looked into this. I don't know if you guys are aware of anything that went on, but there was a question about that, and after looking into it, the ordinance does say that boat landings are open 5 AM to 11 PM. So if that's something you guys want on the agenda next month to potentially change, we'll do that. Obviously, there's pros and cons to that.
Is it 5 to 11?
I think it's 5 to 11.
It's 5 to 11, it says.
Right now, we have signs at the end, so it's a day use only.
Yep. That signs say day use only.
That's where the calls are coming in.
What's that?
So that's why the calls are coming in.
Yeah, so nothing really changed. The signs are fairly simple. I don't know. There's, like I said, there's pros and cons to that. There's reasons that it was put in that way. I would have no heartburn in changing that or leaving it.
The gentleman that contacted me, he's been fishing about 3 different lakes down there, he said, for half of his lifetime.
Sure.
All of a sudden, these signs show up, he never knew nothing about it. In particular, he's a walleye fisherman, he says, on a moonlight night, he says, I don't go out there till 10 o'clock.
Campers, designated campgrounds, or persons transporting watercraft.
Yeah.
That's what brought this up.
Yeah, if you want it on the agenda next month for an ordinance.
Gonna take out the votes.
I think we should.
Okay. Note that, Heidi.
He does have the, state representative involved also, so.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we're required to open 24 hours. It's gonna be up to you guys.
I think, I don't know for sure, but anyhow, you keep on reading this park use regulation that was in our packet on the back page, page 202, if you read down farther, except for campers, those were en route to designated campers, or persons transporting watercraft to and from designated boat landings. So does that mean they can launch their boat between those? We used to have problems with people partying at the boat landings.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
That's what I'm thinking it was, but they can still land their boat, take their boat out, except for those hours. Cause that was a problem for a while. That's why I'm guessing this is the way it was. The guy should still be able to take his boat in and take it out anytime he wants, according to this. We read that A.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I did talk to not the state representative, but the guy from his office, and he was, just the fact that it was in ordinance at all satisfied him. You didn't have any quorums or issues at that point.
I know in years past, we've had tires and numerous sort of things left at our boat landing, you know, for overnight parties. And this here would allow them to use the boat landing for what the boat landing's supposed to be used for at any hour, according to my reading of it.
I guess I question that a little bit, Phil, not to say that you're right or you're wrong, but it doesn't define special use areas. And it don't define that a public boat landing is open 24/7, so maybe we need to take a look at it, do a little rewording of it, so it's a little more clear to said users.
Let's say special use areas subject to section R, and then at the bottom it includes boat landings, so. But I agree, it sounds like it's kinda confusing.
Go for 24 hours if you want.
Yeah. I don't know. Other than that, DNR's been spraying garlic mustard to, help us address that problem. You wanna report on where that's at, or?
It's still off of Rut Road, but we found a new patch there where it was pretty intense. It's up by Bald Hill, off of F and Timon, to the north there. It's near, we found it going down towards Audie Lake, a little bit right at the Y there, Perch and Audie, right off the road. And then, ATV trail off of Star Road. That wasn't too bad. I know you guys pulled a fair bit last fall. There wasn't a lot there, but found a fair bit by Perch Lake, Bald Hill, and some new areas, and then Rut Road, found some more.
What are you spraying to get rid of that?
Garwan. 480.
They kill the ball.
What's that?
They kill the rut too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. You can spray it, and the next day you go back, and it already is pretty well brown and looking rough. So, does a good job. More to do though, yeah. We didn't get to all of it yet.
Yeah.
As mentioned too with the BMP training, Roy, Dane, and I went to that. Jake and Alex, our new guys will be going to a full BMP course this summer. Get them on board with that, required by board certification. That's about it.
If you're gonna change that, I imagine we're gonna have to take this in ordinance, we'll have to change it. You want that on for next month's discussion and action?
I think so, Phil.
Boat landing,
Yeah.
throw it on there.
We got 5 minutes before we go into timber sale. I presume your talk will take longer than 5 minutes?
I can wait till afterwards,
Okay.
yeah, maybe 15, 20 minutes, so, yeah, then we'll have time for questions if anyone has it, so, thank you.
We could do number 4,
Okay.
permit update if you want.
Yep.
So, as it stands now, Dylan, the game warden, investigated what went on with the Brandon Roach stuff, and he built 3/4 of a mile of new road basically, so he's working with Bert on that to deal with that infringement. So if you guys wanna still give him a permit after he's done that, it's up to you. For now, we haven't heard from him about where he wants his permit to go.
I would say that's good, that aspect of them for, see where that comes about, before we would jump in and start giving out permits for
Yep.
violations.
Okay.
Office hour update?
Sure, so you guys remember last week, we talked about this, most of our action comes early in the morning with contractors and whatnot. I talked to Gary, he didn't have a problem with any changes. I talked to Ashley and she prefers, continuity of the courthouse to. Ultimately, it's, up to these guys, but.
So, I have no problem with it as long as that office is open from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Thursday, and 8 to 12:30 on Friday. I don't care who's there to greet the public, but someone needs to be there.
I would agree with that, that's courthouse hours. That needs to stay at that.
I would have to agree. We start setting different hours for every department, and have people standing outside that door, and everybody's gonna change them. So, it's gonna have to stay with the 8 to 4:30 regardless, and I guess that's your requirement, so you're gonna have to figure out who's gonna stay in the chair, be open, and whatever the case may be.
What's the official computer time say?
At 3:27.
The out of county travel? Anything long on that or on the agenda, addendum?
The BMP training yesterday in Jim Falls for Roy, me and Dane. Came in late, like most things seem to, and I called Phil on that.
Those would actually have to have it listed and make a motion on it. I'm guessing.
What's that?
It's on the
It's on
back
the
page, the
agenda.
first one.
Oh, is it?
Here you go.
Item 11.
Well, let's get out of here early. A motion on, St. Paul's, May 16th?
So make a motion for all that you need.
All of them?
Can we just do all three in one?
Actually, there's 4, there's one of them.
Are you making a motion for all 4 then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for all.
Any discussion? Not, all in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Opposed, carried. Good enough now? Mine says it's good. We'll need a motion to close taking bids as of 3:30.
So move.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Dave will bring them down.
I try reading, but that's when I go to sleep.
We're going to the center.
Thank you, Joe, next to bring down the thing, chance.
Yeah, you're good to go. You want one? Anybody else want one?
You just gotta find one and then it's all.
We get bits for everything.
First, yeah. Start with 11:21. Skedaddle.
You wanna open them? Don't- Eventually.
This is 11:21. Skedaddle. First one is from Lionel Klein. Alright. Basswood saw, 160. Sugar maple saw, 160. Mixed hardwood saw, 160. Basswood pulp, 550.
Ton or cord?
This is per ton,
Okay. Would you say the 5 what?
550. Mixed hardwood pulp, 550. Grand total, 15765.
Okay, I got it. So 150, 160, 160, 550, and 550?
Yep.
I got 64, 1940.
Well, $5.50. Right. adds up right on here. What do you got again for, so Basswood saw 160? Right?
Yeah, so you got 160.
Yep.
160 on Maple.
Yep.
160 on Mix.
Yep.
$5.50.
Yep.
$5.50.
Yes,
What do you get? Oh, now I got 15,765.
perfect.
First one's always hard.
Alright, next one is from Flannel Fleet Logging. I think this is the last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basswood saw 100. Sugar maple saw 275. Mixed hardwood saw 160. Basswood pulp $3. Mixed hardwood pulp $6. Total bid $19,035.
Correct.
What was the name on that one?
Flannel Fleet Logging. There were no bids on 21. There's no bids on the second set. 21, yeah.
So you're going for 123.
Yep. 123. First one is from Northwest Hardwoods. Mixed hardwood saw 125. Red oak saw 471. Aspen pulp $17.50. Basswood pulp $12. Mixed hardwood pulp $9. Oak pulp $9. Total bid $87,312.50.
Yep.
Next one is from Cumberland Timber. Mixed hardwood saw 300. Red oak saw 425. Aspen pulp $22. Basswood pulp $5. Mixed hardwood pulp $7. Oak pulp $11. Total bid $86,691.25.
I have 86,575. I didn't have change on any of those.
Yeah. Where they go?
Redo the totals, does she have the totals for Joe?
So 300, 425, 22, 5, 7, and 11. So there's no change in there, so how can you fit those?
What was your total? 86,170?
86,575.
86575. So they just added it up now. We'll go up here. Burmeister logging. We have two choices on that. Bruce Burmeister.
Under, okay, so it's Bruce or it's Burmeister logging? She's a Burmeister.
I think Burmeister logging.
Okay, go ahead.
Mixed hardwoods, 180. Red oaks, 295. Aspen pulp, $21.50. Basswood pulp, $5.20. Mixed hardwood pulp, $11.25. Oak pulp, $6.54. Total bid, $67,538.
Correct.
The next bid is from JW Logging. Mixed hardwoods, 150. Red oaks, $4.50. Aspen pulp, $18. Basswood pulp, $5. Mixed hardwood pulp, $13. Oak pulp, $13. Total bid, $91,575.
Correct.
That was the last one. On to 2-20. Two bids. First one's Northwest Harvest elevators.
Alright,
Basswood's 50. Sugar Maple's 175. Mixed hardwood's 175. Red Oak's 320. Basswood pulp, $7. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7. Oak pulp, $7. Total bid, $58,725.
correct.
Next one's from Cumberland.
Okay,
Basswood's 150. Sugar Maple's 300. Mixed hardwood's 250. Red Oak's 360. Basswood pulp 8. Mixed hardwood pulp 7. Oak pulp 10. Total bid $70,450.
correct.
That was it for 2-20. On to 3. Two bids for 3. Northwest Hardwoods. We're on 3, yeah.
Okay,
Basswood's 100. Sugar Maple's 200. Mixed hardwood's 150. Red Oak's 302. Basswood pulp 7. Mixed hardwood pulp 7. Oak 7. Total bid $38,015.
correct.
Who was that for again?
Northwest Hartwest. Next one is Cumberland Timber.
Okay,
Basswood's 175. Sugar Maple's 300. Mixed hardwood's 275. Red Oak's 380. Basswood pulp $8. Mixed hardwood pulp $8. Oak pulp, $10. Total bid, $61,090.
52,340.
Now until she says okay, I think.
Why are you gonna be specific?
You met my neighbors?
Wait,
Gonna open the door for that.
My fridge.
$52,340.
Correct.
One more time.
52,340.
That was the final bid.
We're on 4-23. Two bids again. Great. This is from Cumberland Timber. Basswood saw 150. Sugar maple saw 200. Mixed hardwood saw 215. Red oak saw 350. Basswood pulp, $5.50. Mixed hardwood pulp, $6. Oak pulp, $7.75. Total bid, $34,928.75.
35,028.75.
Of course, they've been offering us more money than we have to accept, so.
How many times is it my face? How many times my face is it?
$35028.75.
Yep.
She's always right, that's all.
Run it by me again, Heidi.
35,028.75.
Next one is from JW Logging.
Okay.
Basswood saw 100. Sugar maple saw 200. Mixed hardwood saw 200. Red oak saw 200. Basswood pulp, $7.25. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7.25. Oak pulp, $7.25. Total bid, $35,108.75.
Correct.
That's it for that sale. Who's hired?
Jacob,
Next sale. There's a lot for this one. There one and eight.
think it's 8 or 4.
Future wood.
8. Future wood. Okay.
Mixed hardwood logs, 125. Red oak saw, 250. Aspen pulp, $25.63. Basswood pulp, $7. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7. Red oak pulp, $1. Black spruce pulp, $1. Tamarack pulp, $1. Total bid, $58,508.50.
Correct.
Travis Friedman.
Okay.
Mixed hardwood saw, 300. Red oak saw, 300. Aspen pulp, $27. Basswood pulp, $7. The rest are 7. Is that easy?
Works for me.
I'll let you go. You got it all in there?
Yep.
Total bid, $66,470.
Correct.
Next one is from David Hakes Logging.
Okay.
Mixed hardwood saw, 300. Red oak saw, 300. Aspen pulp, $27. The rest of the pulpwood is $15. Total bid, $75,750.
Correct.
Ken McIntyre. Is that just Lake States? Lake States, I think. Right? Yes. Lake States.
Either Lake States or Wood Chip Corporation, one of the two.
Within the States on the envelope. Right, go ahead.
Mixed hardwood saw, 150. Red oak saw, 250. Aspen pulp, $25.75. Basswood pulp, $5. Mixed hardwood pulp, $10.42. Red oak pulp, $10.42. Black spruce pulp, $10. Tamarack pulp, $10. Total bid, $66,127.50.
Correct.
John Ruby, logging.
Okay.
Mixed hardwood saw. Is that 1,200? No, 200. 200. Red oak saw, 250. Aspen pulp, $29.50. Basswood pulp, $12.50. Mixed hardwood pulp, $12.50. Red oak pulp, $7. Black spruce pulp, $1. Tamarack pulp, $1. Total bid, $65,446.25.
I have 71,015.
$71,015.
Correct.
Okay. JW logging,
Okay,
mixed hardwoods, $200. Red oaks, $425. Aspen pulp, $30. Basswood pulp, $3. Mixed hardwood pulp, $14. Red oak pulp, $14. Black spruce pulp, $5. Tamarack pulp, $5. Total bid, $78,085.
correct.
Next one is from Flannel Fleet Logging.
Okay,
Mixed hardwoods, $200. Red oaks, $300. Aspen pulp, $18. Basswood pulp, $4. Mixed hardwood pulp, $14. Red oak pulp, $14. Black spruce pulp, $5. Tamarack pulp, $4. Total bid, $52,580.
correct.
Next one is from Burmeister.
Same sale.
Yep. Same sale. I think this is the last one.
Okay,
Mixed hardwoods, 180. Red oaks, 225. Aspen pulp, $19.55. Basswood pulp, $5.20. Mixed hardwood pulp, $9.58. Red oak pulp, $6.54. Black spruce pulp, $2.50. Tamarack pulp, $2.15. Total bid, $49,599.50.
correct.
Next up, 6-23. Cumberland Timber.
Okay,
Basswood saw 175. Hard maple saw 225. Mixed hardwood saw 250. Red oak saw 375. Basswood pulp $8. Mixed hardwood pulp $8.50. Oak pulp $11. Total bid $73,305.
correct.
JW logging.
Okay,
Basswood saw 100. Hard maple saw 300. Mixed hardwood saw, 300. Red oak saw, 300. Basswood pulp, 4. Mixed hardwood pulp, 10. Oak pulp, 10. Total bid, 63,200.
Correct.
Next one is from Flannel Fleet Log.
Okay,
Basswood saw, 120. Hard maple saw, 350. Mixed hardwood saw, 200. Red oak saw, 310. Basswood pulp, 6. Mixed hardwood pulp, 14. Oak pulp, 14. Total bid, 72,670.
correct.
Next is. Are we on 7? 7-23. Look at this. Cumberland Timber.
Okay,
Basswood saw, 150. Hard maple saw, 260. Mixed hardwood saw, 235. Red oak saw, 395. Basswood pulp, $7. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7.65. Oak pulp, $9.75. Total bid, $50,735.
correct.
Next one is from Flannel Fleet Logging.
Okay,
Basswood saw, 120. Hard maple saw, 325. Mixed hardwood saw, 200. Red oak saw, 300. Basswood pulp, 4. Mixed hardwood pulp, 8. Oak pulp, 10. Total bid, 44,280.
correct.
Burmeister Logging.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 150. Hard maple logs, 225. Mixed hardwood logs, 170. Red oak logs, 285. Basswood pulp, $5.20. Mixed hardwood pulp, $9.58. Oak pulp, $6.54. Total bid, $41,592.
correct.
JW Logging, 323, dash 1.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 100. Mixed hardwood logs, 250. Red oak logs, 400. Basswood pulp, 4. Mixed hardwood pulp, 13. Oak pulp, 13. Total bid, 47,130.
correct.
Next one is from Cumberland Timber.
Okay,
Basswood logs, 175. Mixed hardwood logs, 225. Red oak logs, 375. Basswood pulp, 7. Mixed hardwood pulp, $6.80. Oak pulp, $9.75. Total bid, $37,900.
correct.
that it? That's it. 9-23. First one is from Lakeland Forest Management.
Go ahead.
Mixed hardwood logs, 225. Red oak logs, 250. Aspen pulp, 19. Basswood pulp, 8. Mixed hardwood pulp, 5. Oak pulp, 5. Total bid, $65,025.
It's $65,020.
You're right. Next one's from Futurewood.
Okay.
Mixed hardwood logs, 125. Red oak logs, 250. Aspen pulp, $16.55. Basswood pulp, 7. Mixed hardwood pulp, 7. Oak pulp, 1. Total bid, $57,005.
Correct.
Final.
It's $5.
Alright, last sale, 10-23.
Who you got?
Final Fleet Logging.
Okay.
Mixed hardwood logs, 200. Red oak logs, 300. Aspen pulp, 13. Mixed hardwood pulp, 13. Total bid, $25,825.
Correct.
Next one is from Lakeland Forest Management.
They new, Dean?
Brand new crank. We don't, never cut a sale.
Ready when you are.
Mixed hardwood logs, 250. Red oak logs, 250. Aspen pulp, 18. Mixed hardwood pulp, 5. Total bid, $27,725.
Correct.
Last one is from Futurewood.
Okay.
Mixed hardwood logs, 125. Red oak logs, 250. Aspen pulp, $16.05. Mixed hardwood pulp, $7. Total bid, $25,435.
Correct.
So, Cumberland is a new bidder, they've not completed a sale, they have a sale ready, so they can only have one more sale. Most advantageous one, they're 14,000 over the next bidder would be number 3, track 3. So they should get that, and then track 2, 6, and 7 should go to the next highest bidder. The other new bidder won 2 sales, so they're gonna get.
We're gonna only have 2 sales.
It's a new bidder, yeah.
Until they finish one, then it's not.
Alright, I'll make a motion with high bidder's recommendation.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
No, can you tomorrow? Who gets the job?
Emma, are you all ready?
Yes.
You have the floor.
Yeah, I think I'll just come up there real quick. Thank you folks, it'll just be probably 15 minutes or so. But yeah, my name is Emma Hansen. Maybe I'll come over here. And I think I met most of you folks on the board last year. It was my first year starting here in Rusk County with the DNR as the wildlife biologist here. And so I just wanted to come and give an update on what's been going on in the county as far as wildlife goes. I'm gonna try to make it maybe an annual thing just to keep you guys in the loop, cause the county forest is a really valuable resource for wildlife recreators, and yeah, it's a great place, for a lot of different species, so. You can go ahead, Heidi. Yeah, so I just wanted to touch a little bit on the winter we had this year. You know, it seemed like it hung on for a long time. We had some crazy storms and everything. And the DNR wildlife folks, we have this metric called WSI, the Winter Severity Index. And that calculates up every day that is below 0 degrees, and we have snow depths of 18 inches or higher. And it's primarily aimed at our deer herd. That 18 inches is when it starts getting really deep for the deer to move through. So in Rusk County here, we had a 67, some of the surrounding counties, Taylor County's 41, Price County 69, Sawyer County had quite a bit more snow at 111 points. But Heidi, if you wanna go to the next slide, this is our winter severity index for 2013 and 14, and so to compare with what we have this year in Rusk County at 67, in 2013-14, which I've heard people call kind of the snowpocalypse year, we were at 123, so almost double. So, you know, we had a tougher winter than we've had in the past few years, and, you know, I saw a few deer mortalities. I think maybe some of the turkeys got hit a little bit, but we really didn't have the cold like we did that year of 2013-14, and I think what helped us out a lot this year too was actually that storm in December brought a lot of browse down to the height where the deer were able to reach a lot of stuff they maybe wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So there was a lot of food out there for wildlife, and we did end up having a crust of snow at times that let them walk on top of the snow, turkeys too. So, you know, I think we had some impacts as far as, you know, wildlife mortality over the winter, but everything's looking pretty good. You know, I've seen a lot of turkeys moving around, grouse and everything, so. Okay, you can go to the next slide, Heidi. Just wanted to touch on the nickel per acre grant program too, if you're not familiar with it. it. So it's a program that comes out of the state budget that's given to the county forests. And the long name for it is the Forest Wildlife Habitat Improvement Program, but it's called nickel per acre because every acre of county forest, there's a nickel set aside for wildlife projects. And I think, Jared, you said Rusk County the past few years has gotten about $4,700. So that's grant funding that goes towards wildlife projects on the county. And most of the time that's used for our hunter walking trail maintenance, mostly in the Blue Hills block. But those walking trails also help out a lot of wildlife species too. They're travel corridors. So maintaining those in a forested landscape is just as important for the wildlife to move through there. Go ahead. Just a quick update on upland birds too. I think maybe one of the more important areas for the county for upland birds, especially ruffed grouse, is the Lee Lake Grouse Management Area. That was kind of established a little more recently. And in the fall of 2022, the DNR was finishing up a grant with the Ruffed Grouse Society to do mowing of those trails, because a lot of times the county guys are using a lot of the funding from that nickel an acre project to use towards all the other trails that need to be maintained and opening. So Lee Lake has kind of been a partnership between DNR and the county and trying to get those trails maintained. So we were able to complete 11 miles of opening with 14, of trails with 14 openings also maintained in that. And then we also conduct our ruffed grouse drumming surveys in the county. So the county lands are a really important place for us to monitor wildlife as well, as far as, you know, our population monitoring goes, for DNR. And so I have a drumming route on Felix and River Road over in the East Block, and then also up in the Blue Hills on North Bucks Lake Road going down into Fire Lane. And the drums, you know, they've been staying pretty steady over time in those areas, especially Felix River Road. There's a little more aspen component along that route, so the grouse seem to really like that area. And then we do also have a new survey that's going on for turkeys as well as ruffed grouse. It's a game brood survey, so in the late summer, anyone can help out with it. It's an app on your phone, or there's a paper copy when you're just out driving around and see turkeys with their poults or grouse with their chicks. You just fill out the survey, and that helps us track the number of chicks or poults that they're having and kind of those trends over time. And so that's a new one, like I said, that we started, and if anyone's interested in participating in that, we always can use all the help we can get. The more sightings we get, the more data and more knowledge we'll have. So I'll have my contact info at the end to write down.
Kind of like weeds.
Yeah, especially south of Highway 8.
Up north, all you gotta do is look out the window,
Yeah.
50, 60 birds in the field.
Yeah, well, and I've seen them moving around a lot now lately with everything greening up, so, yeah. All right, go ahead, Heidi. Another important two surveys that we do in the county blocks are our large carnivore track surveys. That's mostly geared toward tracking the wolf population, but we also use that survey for bobcat, fisher, coyote. And so that's been a really long-term data set that allows us to keep track of, again, primarily where the wolves are in the state. And so we run those in the winter time along roads that have just a little dusting of snow on them. So those kind of back gravel roads throughout the county are really helpful for that. And then a newer survey that we've started are the otter surveys as well. We used to just combine that with the road survey, but you don't tend to see otter tracks, otter slides as often crossing roads. So now we do those along waterways, and the two sites in Rusk County are along Devil's Creek, right on Fire Lane, and then Skinner Creek over in the East Block. And so we've had more luck with detecting otters on Devil's Creek. That Skinner Creek stretch, it's off Elder Road. That stretch stretch tends to ice over a little more, so the otters need that open water to really stay in that area throughout the winter. But otter population seems to be doing pretty well in the county as well. See plenty of sightings here about a lot of people seeing them, so go ahead. And then just a quick update on bears. You know, we had about 4,100 that were harvested last year throughout the state. We did have some zone changes go into effect for bear management in 2021, so we're going into the third year of that now. And the reason we changed that primarily is because of this zone D. That kind of is targeting where we see a lot of our agricultural damage occurring, and so we have a higher quota. We try to harvest more bears in that area, which is pretty much that western half of Rusk County, trying to knock back the bear population a little bit there so that it's a little more in tune with, you know, the social side of what folks are wanting to see.
What's the boundary on that, Highway 27?
Yeah, it's Highway 27, yeah. So split pretty much right through the middle of Rusk County. And yeah, I guess touching on egg damage, of the 119 complaints in the whole state, 23 came from Rusk County. So Rusk County has the highest number of complaints out of all the counties. So again, kind of a hot spot for bears. And of course, you see them a lot out on the county as well. They are the county forest lands are really heavily used by bear hunters too, as I'm sure you all know, especially houndsmen. So it's a really great place of big tracts of public land for them to go out. And then the last update for bears is we are conducting bear den surveys to try to learn more about their litter size, diet. We haven't really updated our population model in a few years, so we're trying to learn a little more about how many bears, how many cubs they're having per year. And last winter we collared, last winter was the first year, and then this past winter was the second year. Last winter we collared one sow that had 4 cubs with her, and she had the 4 yearlings again this year, so a really good mom. You know, 4 cubs isn't that uncommon, but to have 4 yearlings survive, I think she's doing really well. And she was kind of in that little bend near Sister's farm, so I think she had a good spot with corn and forest mix, and yeah, so she was doing really well there. But if anyone happens to run across a den on their property, or when you're out on the county, we're going to be doing that survey for a few more years. So just looking for, you know, those vent holes and everything in their dens. We usually do the surveys later in the winter. Cubs are born in January, so usually we'll start in mid to late February with that project. So again, we can't really do it without the help of other folks who are reporting them. And you know, if you're lucky, you might get to come along and also get to take a look at the bear cubs as well. They need to be kept warm because they can't thermoregulate. So we always have folks help keep them warm in their jacket. All right, go ahead. And then deer, of course, our favorite topic. So last summer, I think, late summer, Dane helped out. We put up a couple deer exclosures in Rusk County lands just to kind of serve as demonstration sites. They're pretty small, little 20 meter by 20 meter plots. But we put one up near Betty Lake off Wagner Road in the Blue Hills block, and then we also put one at Lee Lake at an overstory removal harvest. So they're new, so it'll probably be a few years until we really can see the difference. This exclosure is one that we put up at the State Lands Potato Creek Wildlife Area south of 8. So we kind of have a good gradient of different deer densities of the 3 we have set up in the county. So you can see here, you know, this is inside the exclosure at Potato Creek, this is outside. And so, you know, deer have an effect on forest regeneration. You know, whether they're having a significant effect, it's probably in localized areas. And again, you know, having an exclosure is more of a demonstration. It's really not realistic to say, oh, we're gonna keep all deer out of our property, but it's just kinda interesting to see, you know, how much of an impact it can have at times. And then a quick update on the deer harvest in Rusk County. We had 5,200 deer, that's bucks and does, harvested last year, and 950 on public lands. And you know, we aren't able to break it down exactly, but I would imagine a good number of that 950 were harvested on county forest land. Population total in Rusk County of deer is 30,000, and that's been holding pretty steady. Even after the winter, we've seen a pretty steady trend with that. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on as far as deer goes is we have our CDAC, our County Deer Advisory Council, that usually meets 1 or 2 times a year to help set our antlerless harvest quotas in the county. The antlerless quota is kind of what can manipulate your population a little bit. You know, the does are the ones who are having the babies, so depending on how many of those tags you get out, you can either help to increase, maintain, or decrease and control your herd that way. And currently the forestry seat on that council is open. It's been open for several years, even before I started. And you know, since forestry is such a large part of the economy in this county, it's an important seat and I think an important voice at the table. And this summer, later this spring, early summer, those positions are up for re-election or application, so that application period is gonna be open soon. And any of the folks on the forestry committee with the county, you know, they would fulfill the role of that. You'd be eligible. So just wanted to put a plug in for that. Is, you know, it's a really important part of our deer management in the county. Okay, go ahead, Heidi. And then last slide, of course, the fun one that everyone likes to hear about are the elk. So mostly we see the elk in the east block of the county forest. You know, we'll get a couple straggler young bulls moving through other areas. I think we had a photo of one in the Blue Hills even 2 winters ago. But mostly they're up in that east block. I know they've been seen on timber sales near Hackett and Skinner Creek Road, hanging out there in the winter, loving all the aspen that's been cutting down, and so they've had plenty of ground to eat there. And then the county has also partnered with Josh Spiegel, who had my position before this, and he's now up in Sawyer County as the elk biologist up there. And you partnered with him to put in a couple of openings as well over the past few years. So one just off of River Road, and then this one up near George Ladd Creek. There are a couple complexes, and those plantings just offer another food source for elk. They need kind of those open, more grassy landscapes to browse in, and in addition to supplementing with aspen cuts and everything like that. I think Josh did mention that the culvert on the snowmobile trail to that River Road opening seems to have gotten washed out, and so might need to talk to you guys a little bit about some work. I think he might have some funding for that, but he just wanted me to pass that on. Is that might be coming up this summer when he's trying to go in and maintain that. He'll be going and mowing that later this summer, so you might want to do a little bit of work before then.
Did they continue with planting they did up on the old Heinz grade?
On county land, or you're talking about in the Flambeau River?
Pines Grade is in the state forest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so they do have one in the Flambeau River State Forest up there then as well. And we did collar elk up actually near that opening. Yeah, now it's jogging my memory. We did collar elk near that opening on Heinz Grade. This winter, I think we did about 15 of them. And so they were on state forest land at that time, but they did eventually trickle down into county land. And some of them kept passing through, but you know, we have, I'd say probably anywhere from 30 to 35 elk, you know, in Rusk County at any one time. So, you know, the county forest is still holding some elk And Josh also mentioned that they're also starting to calve along this side of the river. So, you know, we might start to see a little bit of a bump in the population here too, which is exciting. So, alright, you can go to the last slide, and yeah, just thank you everyone for your time and for letting me give an update on the wildlife in the county. And if anyone has questions, I can take them. Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This next would be 3. I'm just gonna put them up on the screen. She says. Discussion, I guess?
So we were told that this had to go into ordinance thing, or no, a resolution to modify, we have to throw all the old stuff in there, line it out the way it was done there, so.
So on that one, don't we normally just bring a packet with a new ordinance and then a resolution says something like adopted and then new policy? This is a pretty long resolution to have it in a resolution. Maybe that's how they do it, I guess. I'm curious, normally I feel like the resolution is like a page and then it adopts the ordinance changes.
So the last time we made an ordinance change,
Was it like
this is how we did it?
Okay. So, which are we starting? Are we just starting with the
Public land trails.
yeah. If there's any thoughts on that, otherwise I'll make a motion to move forward on the board. Last time, so that was okay, cause I had roll it here.
I'll second it.
I got a motion by Undershoot, second by Bueller.
Creation of the Rusk County Public Trails Ad Hoc Committee.
Who's coming up with this committee then? Says Rusk County, but
So, the forestry committee, I think would be,
I'm trying to read it, but the light's in certain
Yeah.
places and I can't catch it.
I think the forestry committee can make recommendations as far as who's on the committee. I didn't specify that in, verbiage here.
Through application or what?
I would say through application, that way we could, we're gonna want, originally I had it, a 5-man committee, but as I started talking to people, you know, you might have different people in different areas. Like if I told you to go over by the Blue Hills and check out some land, you might need GPS coordinates to get there if you haven't been there. Of course, maybe for you, since you're in the forest all the time, but for me, I might need GPS coordinates. So if we had a few more extra people, chances of being able to locate if there was a violation or something that needed to be checked out. So that's why I went with 7 when my original thought was originally thinking 5, and then I had a couple people suggest 7. And I think that's pretty close to the size that the ad hoc committee that came up with the maps was. Do you know that number?
That was about,
7 or 8 or so.
that was about 10.
I think 7, and yes, somebody's got a different opinion on that. 7's a good number. It gives a couple extra people than I was originally thinking, and then it'd still be able to help us maintain. You know, we're gonna want people that are, got some time to actually study what the, UPs and all that kind of stuff, so that you're not just going out there and guessing. Looks good enough to me, we're gonna wanna interview and people probably with as close of experience to water conservation or whatever. Help us qualify a little better.
Trying to figure out how to put that in there for applications.
Approved by the forestry committee or something. Yeah, and also I was gonna suggest on our first time doing it, going to a 5-year term or something, maybe we do like one guy 1 year and one guy 2 years, that way everybody's not all done all at once. So there's a little continuity, cause once, it'll take a little bit going getting started, right, everybody on the same page, but once we get going, then we don't, you know, everybody's friends, and then after 5 years, they're all done at once, and then,
Yeah, we just start that off with, say, 2 for 2 years, 3 for 3 years.
and then after that, everybody becomes 5 or something like that.
Nobody wants to get on this for a year.
No, you do it in a stagger.
Right, yeah, if a year, by the time a year is done, you're gonna just become really good at it.
I would suggest a 3-year vote, that's what most of this stuff, the fair, and a lot of library, and a lot of the rest of it was 3-year.
The ad hoc committee will be based on applications reviewed by the Rusk County Forestry Committee.
Have a vote or something.
Do you have an application in mind? Do you have an application in mind, or would you,
Maybe interview.
maybe like a letter of interest?
Yeah, maybe interview more than a application. Yes, yes, you specifically wanted an application.
With a letter of interest.
Something,
And then choose,
as
then
long as we
choose
can
from there to interview or whatever.
dig into what their knowledge is on subject.
Figure out how to get this in the ordinance by what, next Tuesday? please. We wanna have the length of term in this resolution
you
too,
should.
probably, yeah.
I think you should. I would suggest a 3-year, Phil, that's kinda, like the library and a lot of these other deals are 3-year. With us, and I don't know how to work it, but with a staggered
For the first one.
election.
3, 2, 3, or,
Yeah, something like that, so everybody don't, like Phil says, everybody don't cancel out at once.
okay, do we wanna make a motion to forward this? And we'll look at the amendments. You can get that out to us right away and make sure we agree on it before the meeting.
It's already 2 here.
And I can change my most of the motion with the amendments.
And the forward, full board.
And forward to full board.
Gotcha?
Gotcha.
Second?
Yep.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, carried. So do you wanna redo this before we make the actual copy then?
Yep.
Send us an email and tell people when to come in and sign it before the meeting.
Absolutely. Will do.
Modification of regulation ordinance.
As far as the ordinance goes, with the, public trails ad hoc, I'm more confident on this ordinance, because we got the public involved helping us make suggestions on which trails to sign open. So, if nobody has any other modifications, I would make the motion to support.
Is there a second? Where are we with the open signs?
Oh, I would like to make a modification, could we, before I make my motion, change it to take effect July 1st? That way we kinda give a timeline on it, that way we got a little time for everybody to, September 1st. That works, let's go September 1st, that way we got plenty of time to let everybody know, like, somebody said about a comment. You know, if yesterday it was legal to drive here and today it's not. That was a good thought, Bob had there, so. Let's go September 1st.
We'll have signs by then, and
And that'll have plenty of time to get the signs up. And you can always, if we have the committee done by then, you can ask help from some of the committee guys too. So, I think that would work. We could put that into the motion to put that in there.
all those in favor of the motion as amended, say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried. Private land fence damage?
Mr. Graves was here, he left. This is probably just to find out who's responsible, cause I don't think he knew Jared. Who had the timber sale up there, and who was actually responsible for the damage. I'm gonna guess, judging by looking at that pile, probably 250, 300 cord of wood in it, tipped over on a guy's fence.
Do we wanna put the change in here before signing this one? On September 1st, start date.
I don't know if it has a start date. I have your motion as, to forward to full county board with implementation of September 1st.
that should
Okay.
be in there. So he was, Mr. Graves, or chairman for the town of Murray.
Yeah.
Was, just trying to figure out who was responsible for that damage and how it went. And so, in that sale, Jared, the wood is piled on the east side of Manette Road. So,
Yeah, I talked to the contractor. I didn't bring that up, but he did. He knows it's a problem, and he said that he talked to the landowner and they got it squared away. I didn't verify that. I think that told me. I haven't heard anything from the town or the landowner.
well, Jim called me here, oh goodness, 3 weeks ago. He didn't even know who to contact or where to go.
Have you
So-
seen this situation? Have you look at it?
I have not been up there.
I was up there yesterday. I'll look at it, it's a picture of it.
It looks like all those piles on Weirdo Road too.
Yeah, it's not really hurt the fence, the landowner was fine with it. I gave him some fencing supplies to fix it. And I also gave him the wood that fell on it. About 20 sticks, I suppose. Yeah, so he could have the wood. And I guess it's Ted Struck's wood. And Ted, I asked Ted after the fact, I said, can I give your wood away? And he said, absolutely. But that road is still soft, you can't go in and pick the wood up right now. Just be up the road if you want to know.
Oh, I know where the pile of wood's at, it wasn't quite to it, I hauled machinery out of there for somebody else. And at that time, yes, the road was extremely soft, and the pile of wood hadn't tipped over at that time. It was, I'm gonna guess, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks after I hauled that machinery out of there is when I got contacted about this.
The road is still spongy up there right today yet.
I can believe it.
The landowner's fine with it the way it is.
Okay.
But they did have permission to dump it, put the wood there, but nobody realizes when they plowed so damn much snow, that the ditch was that deep. And when they piled that, they probably know the ditch was like it is. And the other side of the road that's leaning toward the road, that's no silence, it's line up there.
So it's being worked on.
Yeah, I don't think there's
Great.
a problem.
Okay.
Land donation.
Charles
A few years ago, Erica Grancelli approached Jeremy Kozlowski about donating land to the county. When COVID came, that kinda fizzled away, or she fizzled away on it or whatever, but she's back at it and she wants to donate, so I had met her. She wants to donate her
55.62.
Yeah, however, before they do that, she's going to cut 5 acres out of it and put an easement through it to that 5 acres on the river for her son. It's hard to pass up free land. So one great thing that you can do with land is obviously throw it in the county forest law. Nick has expressed extreme interest in this. He's been hoping to gain some land to call his own kind of for his department to do projects on or educational stuff. I don't know if you want to talk.
Yeah, I've always had an interest and thought it would be beneficial if we had some land,
Nick,
if we had, and obviously this kind of came up just in the last few days, so it would still have to go to the Land Conservation Committee to discuss as well, but, it would be nice to have some land for a couple of reasons. One is I'm almost positive there's buckthorn on here, and we've been looking for an area where we can do some trials of different buckthorn control methods. This would be a spot where we could do that freely. And the other is just to have the land as set aside in conservation for educational opportunities, where we can, hold meetings with, K through 12 groups, to do outdoor programs in conservation, so, you know, there's definitely some interest there. At the end of the day, whether it's county forest land managed by the forestry department, or whether it's land conservation land, that's not so important, it's just more the fact of having some land available that we can conduct some educational programs on and other projects.
So, well, as you can see, across the river is the Chippewa Block County Forest. Outlined in blue, and north of there, on the same side of the river, outlined in green, is Trails End Camps. Is the reference for that.
The green is strong.
I need to get in contact with county forest specialist. I think there's a special, type of county forest option where you can, do special things like that, or whatever. I think you can do it on any county forest land, but I need to look into the details of that, because I don't know how it all works, but I guess she thought that the forestry committee already approved that we would be interested in acquiring this land from her, but we didn't find any motion on that.
What are we talking
We
about?
were talking about it, yeah, but I don't remember doing anything with it.
Yeah, it fizzled away.
Yeah.
She's eager to move on it. It's in MFL, it's easy to roll MFL land into county forest land, so it's not a barrier. I guess I'm looking for you guys, you wanna keep working on it.
I was just gonna say, I think I'd like a little more information, Jared, between you and Nick,
Yeah.
and what you can do,
And what the options are.
and how we can go about it, and
Yeah, okay.
to open the door for,
Yeah.
kinda like Nick's idea, to be able to, you know, take K through 12 and do a little bit of educational work, and something that,
I agree. Good idea. I'm all for it. However we go about it. Nick said there's some perpetual conservation easement type stuff you could do on it if you didn't roll it into county forest law. Some options, so we'll look into it more and then come back.
Is the board in support of it without making a motion on it at this point? I am. Contract extensions.
Jared, do we wanna do this ahead of the closed session, or do we have to look at the closed session?
When we do the addendum and then pull this back after the closed session,
Okay, for a closed session.
do the other addendum on Audi Lake.
Yep. Who's got Audi Lake?
That would be me.
Oh.
Let's go on.
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
So Shirley Owens, who is the grandchild of Audie Christensen, is put in a request to put a memorial bench facing the lake located near the current memorial. And they wanna add a couple bushes, but they need committee approval to do so. It's at their expense, and then they would meet with Mike ahead of time for placement and that type of stuff for maintaining the space. So they're asking if they can put a memorial bench next to the already current memorial.
Got no issue with that. I would so move to approve.
For a second. Yeah, no, as long as they work with Mike too, to make sure park work and everything else doesn't get compromised.
Yeah, we have a good view of the lake. Struck.
Sure, we're planting an invasive.
You know what?
No No discussion, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Anything on the budget review? We'll just run through all this and do the vote. Or anything on the bill?
Mike, I guess I have a question. The 24,000 of an aqua, that was what, 75% now?
Any discussion on the bill? Like that?
You're okay?
Okay, well, the bill? Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed? One thing we gotta do through quick is meeting day. Part of the summer tour that Wednesday. So everybody's gonna be gone, most of the Forestry people will be gone. Second Wednesday's fine with me.
June 14th is when we'll be training.
Yeah, we okayed that. We okayed something.
Just saying for a meeting date though, because training is supposed to go till 5.
I mean, I'm good, maybe on a Tuesday or Thursday or something.
Yeah.
13th or 15th? Or the 22nd, oh no, we'll go, yeah. 22nd's done at noon, but it'll be kinda tight to get three.
What works for you, John?
Oh, apparently there's stuff going on that too, so.
As in like the 28th?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh, the original date, but everybody said summer tour?
Whatever, I'm just one guy, don't work around like that.
We all do everything at once.
What day is full board?
27th.
Why don't we do it that day ahead of the full board?
Sounds good to me.
That work for you, John?
Yes, sir.
What's open for the road?
3 o'clock again, or?
Yeah.
So we're limited to a 4-hour meeting.
June 27th is the DNR audit?
Oh, that's not good.
That's a bad idea.
I'm glad you got that.
How about the following day, John, the 28th?
Nobody seems to disagree for the 28th? At 3 o'clock.
It's the next meeting.
June 28th. minutes.
Nope, you're okay.
I couldn't hear what you guys said on that ad hoc committee, that you taking applications for that, or what?
We're gonna take a letter of intent.
Letter of interest.
Letter of interest.
If the county board approves the resolution.
They've already spent $25,000 on the signs, and I think they'll approve this. I would guess, but how much is this?
When is full county board that this will be discussed?
County board is May
23rd.
23rd.
You gonna be there?
Plan to be Tuesday next week, Tuesday. We'll see.
After the 23rd, you can take my application, huh?
Yep. Call me.
Call you?
Yeah.
I will.
Alright.
I will. I won't miss out on that.
And then I'll call somebody else and be like, hey, what do I tell you? This
This full county board usually is
Yeah, I think they got the room around 6, but yeah, it starts at 6.
23rd at 7.
For the next committee meeting. So if you're gonna invite all your buddies from the DNR, only get the ones that speak really nice.
No, I'm not inviting.
At least you don't wear the green polo.
You can definitely speak well spoken.
I may be here, but I'm not gonna be wearing DNR garb probably.
Oh, no, we'll make sure we point it out.
Anything else?
Anybody who's got a problem with it goes to the DNR as well.
Motion be in order, going to closed session.
I'll make a motion.
Second. For statutes 19.85, para E. Gary?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
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 Yes. You're now in closed session.
I move that, contract 2583, 2588, 2589, and 2590, letter of credit be switched to cash bond and we're given 6 months.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Phil second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried.
I'll make the motion contract 2582 and 2591. Give them a chance at a 40% increase with a switch to a cash bond or collect in a 1-year extension. And if they choose not to take the increase, we collect the cash bond at the end of the contract.
Is there a second? Any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried.
And again, at this time, make a motion to go into closed session.
Is there a second? Okay, we'll be going into closed session for Wisconsin statutes 19.85, para 1, para E. Jerry?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Me? Yes. We'll be in closed session. We are back in open sessions. Anybody have anything else for the committee? No action will be taken on closed session.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Discussion? We're adjourned.